Starting now. Coming back on screen. Hello, Joseph Lerner, Bergflow Guide here, excited to share crafting your organization. What we're going to review here is the fact that whether you started out as a plumber, an electrician, working to be a dentist, working to be an accountant, studying to be an attorney, all of those roles are individuals. And most people don't set out on that journey with the idea of hiring 10 other people, hiring the receptionist for the front desk, or for a hygienist to hire the lead hygienist to run your office. What you do is you start out crafting your own identity in the technical position or professional position. What we want you to do here is craft your organization based on 3 fundamental hires. Those 3 hires are service, operations, and growth. Without those 3, your company will wither and will not succeed in providing the tools to be pivot ready that we're working towards here in this strategy conversation. So crafting your organization, the services division. What does it mean to have great customer service? What does it mean to be able to replicate the expectations from A to Z over and over and over again? So 2 things to come to mind for most people here. Consistency and franchises. Often people talk about McDonald's. The fact that you can go to a McDonald's, any state, any country, anywhere in this world, get a Big Mac, and it will be the exact same wrapper, taste, and texture as what you would expect from anywhere else. Now, McDonald's is not a burger, not the best burger, let's put it that way, yet McDonald's systems are the best systems in the world. So your service division should provide a similar level, if not an equal level of service in their system, in your system, to something that you benchmark against, like a McDonald's or another competitor. The other piece, I've heard a lot of people mention the Nordstrom experience. You walk into a Nordstrom department store and there'll be somebody playing the piano. There'll be very friendly people who will greet you and say, "Welcome, Mr. Lerner. What can I help you with today? We haven't seen you in a while. What's new? Can I help you find another blue shirt?" Maybe they know what I like, but just off of my face. Or when you go to a favorite restaurant, when you walk in the door and they greet you and they say, "Would you like the usual to start your meal?" So that you don't have to just sit and wait. There's already a higher level of service and expectation there. These are matches to your client base. So you want to think about the dentist that hands you the little bag at the end with the toothbrush and the floss with their name on it. You want to think about branding, what you're wearing, so that people see the experience and live it emotionally as well as the quality of what you're doing. And most importantly, you want to maximize the efficiency so that whether you're helping 1 person, 100 people, or 100,000 people, the quality stays the same. That expectation is sustainable at different levels because you've created a customer satisfaction process that the service division leader will help manage and report to you as the owner of a company. So this is a team, pivot readiness. The first part of this team we're discussing is service. How to provide that service, what are the goals of service, how do we track it, what are the basic metrics, how do the cost of goods change, right? Number of service units go up, do our cost increase or decrease? You need to know these things. Technical performance, how do we maintain the same level of inspection report quality or dental report care when we're working with people if we don't have client retention plans in place that point out where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what the expected results should be. So this is what great customer service, great service in general looks like. And the service division is your lead for that in terms of who runs that part of the company, how they work with the people who answer the phone, to the person who writes the thank you note at the end of the day. The true pivot point in your organization is the operations division, because services and growth go hand in hand. Between those 2 hands is the operations person. You'll see a graphic we use on these slides of a triangle, and these triangles all fit together. When you think of them fitting together, recognize the operations person monitors and supports growth and services divisions, because as the service level or the volume of service increases, the growth has to keep up with that, or it could be that the growth is increasing. So using the example of widgets, 1,000 widget orders come in and normally there's only 100. So now we have to 10 times production. So the service side has to be able to ramp up production. Similarly, if they're used to doing 1,000 and only 100 orders are coming in, the growth side has to ramp up some form of communication to do that. Operations is your pivot point for communicating between these different leaders to design and build structures that support those efforts. They'll track the key performance indicators, and they'll help people see at a certain point here, we need to bring another person on board. We need the efficiency at scalability. And we need our team members to all understand their key performance indicators. As they do this, the finances, the budget, the revenue, the expenses, and the profit all come under that big umbrella of the organizational leader and their communication with you, the founder of this company. Last, and probably the most exciting of the three, is the growth division. So when you're crafting your company and you look at the growth division, you want to look at the overall structure. Most people by now are used to the fact that smartphones are a way of life, that they're called smartphones because beyond just talking on the phone, you have access to the whole world's information in the palm of your hand. So in one sense, this is the digital world. In another sense, there's this whole other space we're walking through, which is the physical world. So true marketing and prospecting exist online and offline. And because people are walking around with their phones, you have an opportunity to converge between the two so that they might see a message from you, receive a postcard, and they may receive a text from you at the same time. If they're a past client, this could be a retention message in the growth division asking who you know that we should know, prospecting for new business, or thanking them for a recent experience and asking for any feedback where you could do better. And so with those expectations, prospecting, digital marketing, and the real world, online and offline, you need to have a structure with a defined path of action with predetermined results so that you'll know at each step of the way that the results match the effort and that you can adapt and pivot in the growth as needed based on the performance of those numbers. So organizational growth goals will typically be predicated on a few things. The lead activity measures. So organizational growth goals for lead activities, and then organizational goals for lead flow. How do those activities transition? What is the time of transition? How do those become conversion rates? What are those ratios? How do we communicate that amongst our team? If everybody's wearing the same uniform, speaking the same language, your whole company is about growth, about lead generation, and about amazing customer service. So between service operations and growth, you have a machine designed to help build growth into your company. You have a machine designed to provide amazing service because they know what script to say in terms of greeting you, how to follow up, and how to solve those problems that come up as they come up by allocating out who is in charge of which solution and building to that. Let's scrap this part. I'm going to go back through the growth division part here. So 3, 2, 1. Crafting your organization, the growth division. Probably the most exciting of the three for most people is the prospect of growing your organization. And in today's world, there is something called digital marketing. Now, most people walk around with their cell phone in their hand, a smartphone, and on that phone, ads will pop up. Or when you're on your computer screen, you'll see ads pop up. This is digital marketing. This is an opportunity to get in front of people based on their interests. Similarly, offline or in the regular physical world is the opportunity for physical marketing, a postcard, a thank you note, the opportunity to make a real phone call to somebody and follow it up with a postcard. So these are confluences coming together between the physical world and the online world. This can be a retention tool in terms of asking how the customer service was, if you have any feedback for us, if they could give you a review online so that a prospect who might be looking for your specific service will find you because you have many people saying great things about you. And so you want to be systematic around the path of action that will lead to the predetermined results of growth that you're looking for in your company. Additionally, you want to make sure that your economic model scales to the same levels of performance that your systems in the growth division are able to meet. So as you meet those, you need to look for what is working better than something else. And this is what we would call your accelerator. So you don't necessarily need 30 different ways to go. If you find 2 or 3 ways that drive business consistently, then that's your lane. And press the accelerator, go down that lane as fast as you can. So looking at the growth goals, there will be lead activity measures, there will be lead flow in terms of the conversion there, and there'll be the conversion rates themselves. On the back end will be the retention rates, where you're taking this, how it's working out for you, and what those key performance indicators look like. So take the time in the growth division and get the leader of your growth division in sync with the vision of the organization. Have them excited about this, and then have that excitement shared amongst all employees, because everybody in the company wearing their branded clothing, excited about the mission and vision of where you're going, is a key piece of the puzzle for these core divisions that run your organization. So a brief recap is that in crafting your organization, you have number 1, the service or product you're providing. Number 2, the operations, the pivot point between services, and our third piece, growth. The 3 divisions work cohesively together to make sure that the needs are being met at each level, that we never outstrip our capacity to provide great service, and yet we always provide a growth trajectory so that we're constantly improving our service or our ability to provide that service. Take the time, review the slides. Thank you for taking Pivot Readiness, and go on, Pivoteers.